In this video, I'll show you how to access data from a cache query using OData. Let's start with the cache and cache query. So here I have an XDC created from a database query. And this XDC contains a cache query called query1. And the data that we'll access from OData will be from this cache query. So before we can utilize this cache and cache query via OData, we need to identify the XDC ID, which you can view by opening up the XDC, and it's listed here at the top, ID, and then a number. And then you also need the name of the cache query that you'd like to consume with OData. Once we have that, we're ready to access InfoBurst and the XDC using OData. Now, InfoBurst doesn't supply OData reporting tools, but you can access cache query via OData using any OData reporting tool, provided that that tool supports OData version 4 or later. InfoBurst at present uses OData version 4. In this example, we'll use Power BI, which supports OData. So if we open up our Power BI client, I'll show you just an example of how we can access and consume that cache query data. In Power BI, we'll select the Get Data dropdown and select the OData feed option. And here we'll supply the URL to our InfoBurst server. In my case, that's HTTP devib, our server port, which is 8551, then /OData, ODATA, and OK. Now in my case, I've already connected successfully and authenticated. For you, the first connection attempt from Power BI or some other tool will require you to authenticate, which means providing an InfoBurst username or password. Once you've authenticated, you'll be returned a list of OData feeds and functions, and the one we're interested in is the cache query function. So we'll check the box, and on the right-hand side we'll be prompted for some values. The first value we need to provide is the XDC ID, which is 6733. The cache query name, that's query1. And if your cache query has a parameter or parameters, you would need to supply those values here before you can run the cache query. We'll select Apply. And in OData, the record list returns like this, so we have to load it. And then we need to edit the query and use a feature of OData, or excuse me, Power BI to table. Once we select to table, it will convert the data set. We just say OK here. And then if we expand, we'll have the option to select from any or all of the columns available in that cache query table. We'll just say OK to all. And there is our cache query data in Power BI, and then we can go on to add this to a data visualization in Power BI.